In this video, I want to talk to you about Ghost, which is one of the easiest and fastest ways to set up a website in 2022. We'll go over why I chose Ghost, why I chose Ghost Pro as my host, as well as some of the features of Ghost that I think make it stand out, and also take a look at the admin section just to give you an idea of what you can do there. I'll also include chapter markers in the description if you want to jump to a particular section. Really quick, there are a few terms I want to define. Ghost is the software itself. It is open source. Ghost Pro is the hosting service provided by the ghost.org website. So I try to make sure to say Ghost or Ghost Pro to mean specifically those things. Why I wanted to go with Ghost. So the first reason I wanted to pick Ghost after looking at my options is that Ghost is open source. The other major competitor I had was Hugo, which is also open source, so that's a win-win for me. Whenever I can find a good, mature open source project that meets my requirements, I really want to try to go with that option if at all possible. The second reason I picked Ghost is it really lets me focus on content creation. There will be some initial setup, but after that, it should just be writing articles, newsletters, and managing memberships, and that's it. The third reason is that Ghost can grow with me. There are a lot of different integrations that I could add to Ghost later on to other services that could help grow Vashinator.com. Another quick reason is that Ghost has good SEO out of the box. So as long as I'm putting the correct information in my title and my article, it should be able to be found in search engines across the internet. And the last reason I ended up going with Ghost is Ghost can be as simple as you like. This website was started in about 10 minutes. I could have went straight into publishing articles. I would not have things enabled like paid memberships, but I could still just start posting articles out there and I would have that great SEO. I will be making some changes to do things like have a separate feed for the newsletter and some other things like that, tweak the theme a little bit more. But ultimately, that's going to be it. I'm not going to do a whole lot until I get a bit further along. But to me, it's just really cool that everything was up and running literally 5 to 10 minutes, and that's it. As an example, after that 10 minutes, the site was live, and I had already started connecting my domain. I was literally waiting on the internet at that point. So for my hosting choice, I elected to go with Ghost Pro. Ghost Pro is not the cheapest option. You could probably do something like DigitalOcean and get out for $5 to $6 a month. Ghost Pro starts at $9 a month, but the advantages are you don't have to worry about the security or setup, and you don't have to worry about doing updates. Those are all handled by the Ghost Pro team. Like I mentioned in the reasons I chose Ghost in the first place, I chose Ghost Pro because Ghost Pro also lets me focus on content creation. I don't have to deal with maintenance. I don't have to deal with any of that. So the important thing to me about being able to focus on content creation is I work a full-time job. I'm trying to do YouTube videos. I'm trying to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 3 times a week, and I'm trying to have a life. So after that, I'm trying to also get to writing articles. The less time I have to spend on doing updates in the admin panel or maintenance, the better for me, because I want to be able to spend that remaining time working on articles, because I think they're going to be an important pillar for my YouTube channel. I do have more information on the cost of Ghost Pro on my website. I'll link to the article in the description. On to the section I think is the most interesting, and that is the features section. There are 3 features I really want to highlight here because these 3 are really what stood out to me, and they all tie in together. The first one is the editor, and then we're going to talk about memberships and newsletters. So the editor is where you're going to write up your articles and your newsletters. It allows you to use Markdown to format your text, but you can also add a lot of different kinds of blocks in there as well. To show a few, we're looking at a preview right now of my article. This is just a call-out box that I was able to add. This is collapsible content. You can see it expands and contracts here. And by the way, it looks a little strange on my Linux system. I'm gonna have to look a bit further as to why. It looks just fine on my Mac. It looks as I'd expect. But there's something weird with Fedora 36 and Firefox here. I'm just not sure what. I can also embed a tweet. One really cool thing that I found out when I was working on this article and this video is that if I take a screenshot of something, I can paste it directly into the article. I don't have to go save it as a file. I don't have to go and upload it somewhere. I just paste it and it works, which is amazing. You can also directly search Unsplash, and you can also include HTML blocks. In this particular case, this is just an Amazon Associates link. I have network-wide ad blocking, so I can't see it here, but if you went to the actual article, you would probably see a link to some cable organizers that I use just to show you can do an HTML embed that way. And adding a block is really easy. I went back into the editor now. If I want to add one, all I do is type a // and it'll list out all the blocks I have. So if I just start typing divider, you'll see that here. If I want to type out YouTube, you'll see that here. I can also do things like email content to only show this in an email if I was sending this as an email, and bookmark. So you'll notice up here, this ghost page right here, this is a bookmark. So the other aspect of features that I really want to touch on is the membership and newsletter aspect. So in addition to writing the articles, like I've mentioned, you can also write a newsletter and have that be sent out to all of your members. So as you can see in the bottom right hand corner, there's a subscribe button. You can go and subscribe to the site, and I'm going to work on sending a weekly email out of just a digest of that week. So any articles I posted during the week or any YouTube videos I posted during the week, those would all be in that email. Just a nice way to kind of get a wrap up from that. I'm also thinking about including some tips and things like that that may not necessarily fit in with the videos and articles. You can have multiple paid tiers for your membership options, and you can also decide whether you want to have a free tier or not. I'm of course going to keep a free tier out there because why not? I did want to take on two other questions that I thought people might have. The first is, what type of site is Ghost best for? To me, Ghost is best for a site that you're going to update on a fairly regular basis. You're going to be adding articles or maybe YouTube videos, or maybe you're going to be adding podcast episodes. I've seen themes where it is very podcast focused. So those could all be great options. But if you're looking to do something like a one page or a site that you're going to set up and then really not change any further, that may not be the best option for Ghost. And who is Ghost best for? So on ghost.org, they mention creators, publishers, and businesses. So creators are obviously somebody like me who's trying to write articles or, post about their videos or have a community around their channel, things like that. Publishers are talking more about posting news. The last thing I kind of wanted to do in this video is to talk a little bit about the admin panel. So the admin panel is fairly straightforward. Just to briefly show you the few things I've actually done so far. I've went in and actually set up the custom domain for this. So I have Vashinator.com assigned to this site. I've made some minor changes to the design. I've changed it to dark mode, and I've also went in and added a background image, which I'm going to change. That's just a placeholder for now. I wanted to see kind of how it worked. And I've also added my logo and my little icon here at the top. Some other minor changes like that. If I wanted to go change the theme, all I'd need to do is go right here, pick my theme, hit install, and it would be done. I could also load in a third-party theme if I had, found one of those that I wanted to use. In the general tab, one really interesting thing that I do want to look further at is some of this meta info here. So like the Twitter card. So whenever somebody actually posts a link to this on Twitter, so if somebody posts a link to one of my articles or my site or something like that on Twitter, it's actually going to show up in this card format, which is really kind of nice because it doesn't look like a plain link out there now. And I can link my social accounts down here, which I've linked my Twitter. So if you'll see a little Twitter icon. I'll go to the front homepage really quick in a moment, and you'll see a little Twitter icon in the top right. Another thing that I do want to get into, and this will probably be what I cover in the next video about Ghost, is down here in routes. You can set up things like a feed specifically for your newsletter, which I do want to do. So that's something I'm going to look at further. Beyond this though, it's all fairly straightforward. There's a membership panel where you can see that. You can set up your navigation, you can add pages, you can create extra newsletters. I've already got this one. If I wanted to create a second one, I could do that. I could even create an entire collection that would be separate. So maybe if I was talking about gaming, I could create a gaming collection if I wanted to. You'll have the dashboard here where you have some information about how many members you have. This literally has not been posted publicly anywhere yet, so I've only got one person that's signed up right now. With that, we will wrap it up here. If you have any questions or thoughts on Ghost, please feel free to share in the comments below and throw out an emoji if you want to. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.